Centennial,
Mhm.
but Aurora, Arapahoe County. I've been making the same commute since 20. Yeah.
That's the worst.
2011. I think
No, I
20
don't.
25 is,
it's a mess. And it's actually, before the pandemic, it wasn't so bad.
Hmm.
Post-pandemic, way more people are not using public transportation, so the traffic's actually much worse.
Hmm.
And public transportation is ramped back up, so I used to use EFF two and
So I'm having a very bad hair day. And sort of a bad face day. Okay.
desperate for people.
Yeah.
I think they're down with the rear.
When I saw Ryan, right? That,
Yeah,
right, yeah. When I saw his, I sat next to him actually, cause I was at that meeting or something, but afterwards I sent him a personal email and was like, it didn't work out for the planning commission. He's going to volunteer. All right, we hit 6. All right, then let's call to order the main meeting of the CAPS at 6 p.m. We do a roll call vote. We'll call it.
Andrew Bond.
Here.
Liza McKenzie.
Here.
Chris Nunez.
Here.
Artist Ledwitz.
Here.
Claire Dixon.
Here.
Sochi Luna.
Here.
Councilmember Neil Shaw.
Here.
You guys, we gotta get this. I'm so sorry. Yes, we should. No, this is a backup. It's actually fine.
Okay, so is everyone had a chance to look at the agenda? And if anyone have any comments, changes, additions you'd like to suggest? This is gonna be exciting. I mean, this is one of the longest agendas I've ever seen. All these are like, I think that's true, but
Yeah.
a lot. in it.
No, I guess I will not propose a change. I'll save it for public comment.
Okay,
That way it doesn't have to be an agenda item.
all right. Then I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda, please.
I motion that we approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Agenda has been approved. Sounds like we might actually have some public comment at this meeting.
I have one public comment.
As a non-councilor.
Yeah, as a resident. I want to know what this committee is doing for Sundance. That's my public comment. Yes.
No, it was a question, not a comment. So, you all-
No, I want to know.
Oh.
What this committee is doing for Sundance
Okay,
and the town.
to quote the mayor, thank you for your comment. Anyone else on what to do in the village? Okay, closing public comments, welcome new members. I think we've all, you all have been to a meeting before and we've requested interviews and we've had some chats, but we usually just do one around the room anyways on first meetings, so I'll start. Andrew Vaughn or Drew, either one. Been a CAPS member for 3.5 years now. I am a aerospace astronautical engineer, full-time, 3 school-age kids, so got a lot going on, but joined up with CAPS to kind of maybe help herd the cats a little bit, even though I have an engineering mindset. I really enjoy seeing guards in town, so wanted to help where I could.
I'm Artist Lebowitz. I have been on the committee almost a year, I think.
It goes fast.
And I just, I'm retired and I have an interest in art and the community and I just wanted to be part of the committee.
Chris Nunez, been on the committee for 2.5 years, somewhere in that, 2.5, 3. Former entertainment attorney in Hollywood for over a decade, and then I ran a digital art studio for a number of years doing augmented reality and digital art installations all across the world. And now I own a business here in Superior doing dog care.
Neil Shaw, the town council rep. I've been on this committee for about the last 1.5 years. And I've been on the town board forever.
Xochitl Luna, you can call me Sochi, I go by Sochi. A year ago, we moved here to downtown Superior. We used to live in Broomfield, near to Flatirons. And a year ago, I finished my PhD in religious studies. So I'm trying to be an independent scholar in religious studies. And I have 2 kids, 2 teenagers at Monarch Middle School and at Monarch High School.
I'm Claire Dixon, and this summer we will have lived in Superior for 15 years. So I had kids go through El Dorado, Superior, Monarch Middle, and Monarch High School in different stages. They're growing up now. My youngest is going to be starting high school in the fall. I have a master's degree in art history with emphasis in curatorial studies. And I've been doing some volunteering in the collections department at the Museum of Boulder. I was on the CAPS committee when it started in 2016 through about 2020 and decided I just kind of wanted to get back involved into it. So thanks for having me back.
Welcome. Ready, Liza?
My turn, okay. Hi, I'm Liza. I have been on CAPS for 3 years now. I have 3 kids. We live in Superior, and I am a jack of all trades, master of none, and really just enjoy working with the community and this committee to get involved in the arts in Superior.
Thank you, Liza. All right, let's move on. We have Jay, staff updates. Let's do this.
All right. Starting out with the AJ Davis mural, I reported that it has damage. I finally got a hold of him. He was, super bummed, of course, to see that the paint was peeling, but he said regardless of, pre-cleaning, priming, all the stuff, he said it just sometimes happens. And so he feels very confident we can get it fixed. The only bummer part of it is that he just got a commission in Oregon. So he's gonna be gone for the whole month of June. So we're gonna connect in early to mid-July for him to come assess and just come fix and repair. So it's gonna be like this for a little longer. Not on the agenda, but wanted to let you know that Coyote Hawk, if you've not noticed already, has been moved. I was not aware of the day. Was actually driving around doing QR signage research and there drove by a parked truck with Coyote Hawk in the back, so a little bit of a surprise.
How did they look?
I'm not sure. I know they unbolted. And the top stone was still there, and then I think they went back and retrieved that. Because I think they had to do some cutting because it was bolted. There was a concrete pad and then the stone. And then he drilled down and bolted through everything. So I think they severed.
They took sandstone off.
Separate from this strip. Yeah, so.
We do not yet know what kind of pedestal we're gonna put in place.
Correct. But we could use that stone again. So it's currently in we call it the backyard at Town Hall. So that yard that's got the vinyl fence around it, that's where he's in the yard.
Okay, so do we need an agenda item for kind of how to install that? And we've talked about where.
We have, and I think I need to get timing on when they're gonna redo that bed in front of Civic Space. And yeah, we probably need to think about the height that y'all are thinking and utilizing the stone that was purchased when the piece went in. And if you wanna go higher, we're not.
That stone's smaller than I
Mhm.
expected.
Me too. Disappointingly.
Yeah.
So.
Are you thinking like,
Seeing these guys throw this thing into a truck, which is, I don't have any problem with that, right? And that's kind of how it probably could have been, but it was like a $10,000 install, right? And that's.
yeah, but like rethinking, like, would it be a concrete pedestal with that's taller and then the stone or?
Yeah.
Or a giant boulder that the coyote can sit on.
No. Yeah, architectural rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have it, I mean, we do have a lot going on next month, but we can absolutely, definitely need to have that, so. Mural Festival Administration, I just wanted to kind of share, sorry, this is not in order. You're getting a sneak peek. So I got a general timeline as far as the call for artists. I think it's Chris, Stephanie, and Liza, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So it looks like the call is closing on Sunday, and this is kind of her general thought plan for a timeline. She's proposing Tuesday, June 9th for a Zoom orientation meeting that I will be a part of. I'm not helping to jury, I just would like to sit in on this meeting, but I told her I'd ask you three if you're able to make that. She didn't set a time, but I would like to be able to get back to her your availability on that date. So you don't have to answer me right now, but I can definitely shoot you an email, because if Stephanie's not here, so I should do that anyway. But just wanted to plant that with you. And then it looks like the rest of that's there. I think she's hoping that the whole group can see the results of the jury on the June 25th meeting, which also adds to the list that day, but it's important that we stay on track. And then how the group wants to go about making recommendations to town council.
Can you send around the link to the call page?
Absolutely. It is on the Streetwise website, just FYI.
Okay.
But I can send that out along with this timeline and check all in with you guys.
Do we have any information about the response given so far? Does she indicate?
130 so far.
For how many spots?
13 or 15?
6 to 8.
Or is it that little?
We're bundling the.
Oh, the bundle.
The benches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually,
And-
that's gonna be up to the jury.
And we also, I don't think we ever discussed it, but there is that new bathroom structure up by the new dog park.
I think that, I don't know if we can add now that we've already got the,
Central Park.
I don't know if we can add now that we have the agreement in place, because the locations are designated, but.
Thanks. Or we'll just convince Leah that all of these artists she really wants and she needs some extra stuff. Huh?
The benches,
No, there's a bathroom building up in the new park in the new downtown residential area. That they just put sod around and the park is really shaping up nicely.
Nice view of it.
The other thing I wanna clarify is that, and especially for the new folks, is whenever there's two, caps can work in groups of two, and it's completely fine. If it's more than two, then it's considered a meeting and it has to be publicly noticed. But you just realized that I mentioned 3 members here, but the difference with this is that this is a meeting that Streetwise is hosting. It's not, and they're not making business decisions on behalf of CAPS, there's jurying, and then they're reporting back to CAPS. And this is actually one of the things that I'm gonna ask Michaela to go over with the advisory group guidebook updated, because it was something that was of concern with the historic commission, because they go to regional historic preservations meetings all the time as a group. And they go to conferences, and I was like, well, if there's 4 or 6 of them, technically, that's, we need to clarify that. And so if like a conference is being hosted by someone else, and they're there to learn and bring information back to the group, and that's essentially, in my mind, the same here, okay? If, however, Chris, you, Stephanie, and Liza decide to make decisions ahead of the next meeting, then let me know, and I'm happy to arrange a work session for you.
What would we be deciding?
Probably nothing, but if you decide to
Okay.
have a meeting, then let me know and I can create that for you.
Because it looks like there's just 2 weeks of individual online voting.
Yeah.
Unless you decide you want to collaborate.
But like for this Zoom orientation, there will be 3 CAPS members in attendance, but Streetwise is hosting. And they're there to learn.
I think you missed the last meeting, right? You were
Yes.
not zoomed in either, right? So there was a little bit of a debate. Originally, there were 2 CAPS members. Stephanie had strong opinions that we ought to be at least half. CAPS ought to be at least half of the committee.
Mhm.
So originally it was 2 CAPS.
3 Streetwise and 1 artist from the last Streetwise Mural Fest in Boulder.
Okay,
And so.
we're still having that person.
Yeah, so I guess we're 3 of 7, I suppose. But, you know, I suppose you could want to collaborate on a general sense of theme or whether certain things were appropriate for the town or something like that. Right, and if you wanted to do that, have some kind of preview,
Yeah.
whatever you know.
You mean like try to represent a united front to the selection panel?
I put that out there because that is going to be something Stephanie was concerned about. And we would somehow get it bulldozed, you know, and have our individuals, right? Okay, and all is gonna get, have to get stamped by the council regardless.
Yeah.
Goals. Here, is that back in?
I'm gonna, as soon as I'm done with staff, I'll do
Okay.
the thermostat is in the staff office area. Dylan, if you can hear me, tap that thermostat down a little bit. What else? Oh, the other thing Streetwise is almost done with getting the artists lined up to work with, Superior Elementary in El Dorado. So that's not part of the jurying process. Their education person has, you know, a few artists and she, worked directly with Tim Posey because the art teacher at El Dorado has resigned her position. She's moving to Texas and they have not replaced her yet. So Tim graciously, we all know Tim, he graciously stepped up to the plate and is leading the project, and then we'll get the new art teacher at El Dorado on board when that person gets into position. And they will be starting their murals right when school starts. So they'll be treated more as clubs instead of in class, because otherwise there'd be 90 kids working on the murals, and that's not possible. So Tim's advice was to create 1 or 2 clubs, art clubs, and they'll focus on the work of the mural, and the artist will work directly with Tim and then eventually that new art teacher. So that's kind of how that will work. So that's moving along.
That's gonna be good. Tim has strong feelings that that's not just like a paint by number that the kids are going through the motions and stuff. right?
Absolutely.
They have to go buy into stuff, so.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
And he felt very strongly too that, and it was just offered, he came back with you know, very strong opinion, which I love, that, but the first offer was to hang a mural in 1 or both of the schools, and he was like, no, we have enough of that. Let's let this be part of the public art collection, which I think is wonderful. So we'll likely hang it in the civic space, and then eventually if CAPS is interested in moving it somewhere else, we can. Okay. The other thing I wanted to throw out to you is that just in the spirit of getting documentation for the mural festival, I kind of started large with what I could see as ample coverage of photography and video. And that would be basically 1 hour each day, 5 days leading up to the event, 3 hours of event coverage, and then the creation of a photography portfolio and a 3 to 4 minute video. Okay. And so far we've got 2 of our 3 bids that we asked for, and this is where we are. For that ask, what's behind you, so, or behind me, I'm sorry. Obviously it could be scaled back, but the idea was to get obviously a lot of coverage, progressive coverage. So,
To get everyone on the same page, the media was something that got cut, right? I mean, we had to pay for this somehow between caps and the town, you know, trimmed some things here and there to pay for their part. We had our allocation, so this got cut. So this is putting back, you know, if we did this, we would be contributing 35K instead of 25K to zero. That's, yeah, it is something we could do, but
yeah,
it was previously made that this was something we were on sacrifice.
So CAPS wouldn't be paying for that full amount, they'd be just contributing part of that, is
At
it?
this point, we would
it
want
would
to
be full.
we're
Oh, it'd be full, and that would come out of,
So when he referred to, pieces and parts, that was the contract with Streetwise.
oh, okay,
But to your question about where it would come, it would have to come out of the CIP part of that.
yeah, because that's where the money is,
Yes.
okay.
We do have notionally in budget 5K for media, but that was intended to be for whatever we did with the ARTery yard installation, right? It's like for the big pieces, you know, for Silencio, for Coyote Hawk, for Watcher Seer,
The mural.
definitely a box mural. I think AJ did his own, the other one, but we had paid explosively to make trailers and stuff that we could share with the town for those things. So it's something we're trying to sort of capture the history of our collection and stuff for posterity.
Do we have any view counts on any of that?
They're on YouTube. So I don't know offhand. But I don't know if they're getting pushed. I haven't seen, you know, if anybody's running Insta or something.
There you go. So anyway, I would need to add this, I mean, we have time, but eventually, I think when that third bid comes in, you know, maybe next month or the month after, this could be on your agenda again for further discussion. But, I just wanted you to kind of see how the numbers fell and how they got where they are, what I asked for. And of course, like I said, it could be trimmed back, and that could trim back the total cost as well. It just kind of went sort of similar to what I've asked for when we've had the other videos produced. So this was just keeping of that. The Hyatt mural design update, there is none, they're just moving forward. They got all your feedback and they're just moving on. Advisory group got a guidebook presentation at the June meeting by Michaela, and also, just the FYI that, oh, and the continued discussion about possible revisions to the cash resolution, also in the June meeting. That's why Andrew and I are snickering over here, adding more to next month, because we know that are gonna be slightly longer conversations. So just wanted to give you the heads up there.
And we'll get to it later, but our conversation with the council is July 13th. So that we'll have this stuff at our meeting, and then a couple weeks later, talk to the council about it.
QR sign installation and site visit, I wanted to share, just some research.
Skip it out, which is, I think, the easy one.
Oh, yeah, the closure. So August through November, meetings will be held at town hall due to, a lot of construction here. So a lot of drainage issues, both in the parking lot and the building, a lot of construction. Building will be closed August and September. Potentially longer into October, so we'll make sure that you are reminded, but just know that that's upcoming. Okay, now QR code. So a while back, Andrew has been working with Dalton on the Historic Commission, and both have come up with lists of potentially. You haven't seen them yet, I could go grab one if I need to, but, or pull up a photo, but we basically have these, metal signs that we created with the town logo on it, and then the face could be a plate that has, you know, the art information and a QR code. the desire is to have QR codes available for both historic and art collections that are out in town, and I think you helped develop this list, right? Yeah. So, the triptych, that's the roundabout piece. Watcher and Seer is in
Superior.
Commons area. Vita Nova is in, Rogers Farm, the Pocket Park, the Rings on McCaslin, the Heartwings at Founders Park, Dancing Sticks, which is right out here. The McCaslin mural, I think we always call it the McCaslin mural, but it's the AJ Davis one that we were just looking at a little bit ago. The Superior mural here in the community center, where the neon sign is. The sunflowers over by Costco and Target. Silencio on Rock Creek Parkway. And Coyote Hawk, which we know is now moving. So I just wanted to run through that list, that Andrew provided a while back, but I think top of my list is the triptych because that's the most difficult as far as accessing and where in the heck could we put this sign. So I did a drive about with, a colleague in Public Works. And we okay, so this is, I'm looking north. So let's just do a little more. Okay, so this is north up here. This is there's crosswalks, these triangles of kind of rock and ugly junipers, basically on the north and south side of the triptych. Okay, so if you were to be crossing that walkway, there's this rock bed, and it's a possibility to have it there. Where I placed that sign, I looked down and I was like, oh, okay, that means that they were doing locates, looking for utilities, things of that nature. So we obviously have to steer clear of that. So then I moved it a little further over, kind of more in the middle. And it is kind of an odd spot, but at the same time, if you're walking by, and if the landscape eventually improves a little bit, it could look nice, but it's just an option. And then I did the same thing, the north one, looking south. I did go across the street, into downtown. There just really isn't a lot of, it's just so much stuff there. It just feels like it would get lost.
My mind, it was always next to the downtown sign, you can see beyond the white car there, that, you know, somewhere up in that.
Yeah, and we did, and there's so many signs and things like that, and if it's too close to the sidewalk, you know, they use heavy machinery to clear the sidewalks. I'm always happy to go back, but there's just so many things. I just felt like if it stands out a little more, it could help, and then we could potentially do multiple. That's the other option, is we could do multiple. We don't have to just have one. There could be one on the north, one on the south. I don't see doing 4, but
They're roughly $1,000 each, like that.
they're about 700, 800 apiece, yeah. But that's the goal, is you all wanted this well, you know, you want people to know what the title is and the artist, and you want people to have information, so that's what it takes.
I kind of like near to downtown because more people walk on that area. I think in that corner, not many people.
Yeah,
Equivalent triangle, there's an equivalent triangle in, right,
over
in
here,
the middle of the road where like car is, right, where you can cross behind.
right in here,
Yeah.
There might be. I can go back. I'm happy to go take more pictures and report back. I just wanted you to know that I'm thinking about it, and I don't know what you think about these locations next to these sidewalks. But we could definitely look into multiple.
The one positive that I see for either one of those ends, maybe doing both, is, you know, a lot of things that people notice around here are when they're driving. Like the lawn signs or whatever, that's how we get most of the awareness around events, is just like people noticing the lawn signs. So putting these things, like maybe even a little bit closer to the driving lane, at least the drivers would see them and maybe come back to it. But counting on pedestrians to kind of just randomly find them is.
Yeah.
Actually, let me share this, so I didn't do this.
It's a tough one, because we also have to be careful to not distract too much. We don't want to distract drivers in that roundabout because, that's hard. Ooh, yeah.
Very hard enough. Yeah, so this is a nice, they must have just updated this, right? You can see the construction, like this is, wow, that's pretty new. So JD just had.
Can you say that just a little bit? I know.
So the second one she showed was right here, first one was right like here-ish. And then, so it does look like there's an island here, right? So you could do it.
Okay,
You could also do that one.
if we stuck with those crosswalks.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
might be more toward walking traffic. This is supposed to be, you know, this is supposed to be a restaurant with a patio or something eventually.
I thought it was retail.
Kind of, this corner one, they always draw in their renders as the Houston's Steakhouse or something.
Okay.
Here.
We're getting Houston's?
No, it's, they just call it, they just say like steak or something. Yeah, and that's what I envisioned, though, everything to see that on.
Well, we don't have to make a decision today, but I think this is really good food for thought. I'm happy to go back down and take more pictures, you know, however many times I need to pull, get advice from Public Works, but in the end, no matter what we decide, I still have to get locates done to make sure we can go there, but given those beds are ideal, because I don't think there's a lot in there. But we know there's some because of the crosswalk signs and stuff.
Actually, in Virginia, it's concrete. I've always wondered, there's concrete back here. I don't know if they intended something,
Yeah,
but that's behind the sign.
yeah.
Like something in here, you have to walk through the flowers to see it. All right, and unless anyone has any objections, my Bruce plan was to ask you to start to kind of take over this project.
The QR codes or just?
Yeah,
this
well, just
particular-
work with JD. I mean, JD has been doing that
Oh,
virtually and
sure.
stuff, but with your curation experience,
Yeah.
working up what actually goes on the plaques, maybe details of it.
Oh, like writing the text and things like that.
Yeah, and then just
Okay.
work with JD.
Or have her, work with Dalton.
You would ask me about.
Okay, all right.
I know Dalton pretty well.
Good, yeah. So maybe at some point, the three of us can chat and kind of bring up to speed, because we really need to kind of get going on getting these placed and can take a while. So there's that.
Where the QR codes link, right, there's been talk about whether the QR code should be some kind of dynamic link that we could update, because we're gonna print these things, right? And they're gonna be on like final,
Aluminum.
the top panel is also.
I can actually bring one in, I'll go grab one.
Yeah,
They will be replaceable.
that's what I was gonna say, like, how long does the technology last after 5 or 10 years? Just nobody uses
Right.
QR codes anymore.
But if you
So,
just put a bit.ly link on it, you could redirect
yeah.
the tail of it, maybe, or something like that, right?
So, but the signs themselves were quite an investment,
Yeah.
the plate
So you
itself.
can take that out and
Yeah.
I mean, why not just put text right on the plate? Is the QR code easier?
There will be both.
They'll be both,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I'll bring one in and show
Okay.
you, yeah.
And then where that link goes to, right, the website.
Yeah.
Check out something.
And then this is just this was actually Leslie's idea, because I was like, where in the heck would we put a sign on Rock Creek Parkway? We couldn't do this little bit of grass area because it's so close to the road. And again, I said, oh gosh, when they're just cruising through there, clearing the sidewalks when it snows, you know it's gonna get hit. And then she said, well, maybe you should make a purposeful spot and have a bench and have it next to that. And I was like, And that actually works well because the Lions Club, who has donated greatly to the town through the Historic Commission. They donated some trees and they donated a bench at Asti Park, and we're putting a sign just like this right next to the bench, talking about the donation of the trees. So that kind of next to the bench thing could be an idea in more than one spot. So
Get one of those wind turbine benches.
What does that do?
you all can, absolutely.
There goes the budget here.
Yeah.
There's a company that makes benches out of recycled sections of the big like turbine blades. So they have the
That would be cool.
cross section.
And they have like regular, and then they have the domed ones, and all kinds of cool stuff, yeah.
Meant to be decorated.
They're not cheap, but they're super cool and unique. And I think the same would go with this one, is would you want one on each side? You know, it might be kind of neat to have a bench right across on either side of the street. I don't know, so that too can be up for discussion. I just wanted to throw that in the mix.
I like this in particular, though, is like behind us is Purple Park, you know, the big open grassy space, so it's a nice view where you got it there.
Yeah, so that's kind of where things are. I will follow up with you and we'll keep working away at that.
Okay.
As far as event planning for civic space in 2027 and any caps use, this is a question from Michaela because she is going to be having a conversation with council on June 1st about the 2027 events plan. And she just didn't know if caps had, you don't have to like commit right now, but if you see caps with potential high use of the civic space in 2027, kind of like what you're doing with the films. That would just be good for her to know. That was all she wanted me to ask you.
I definitely see us, I think Sherry knows this, but the digital exhibits, right, using screens.
Yeah, but as far as like event use or using the event space like you are with the films. If you see anything coming up, or if you can think of anything, it'd be good for her to know now, but if not now, obviously later as she continues to work on her own work plan.
Chris, were you thinking continuing Sundance films indefinitely, or
Yeah, maybe get a bigger screen.
upgrades? Yeah.
So you're thinking of doing films during the same year as Sundance?
Keep it going.
Yeah. Keep it going, see if we can get some of the films that screen at Sundance.
So probably skip January 2027.
Put it in more something.
Yeah, probably a good idea. So should I say maybe on the films?
Yeah.
What about doing an exhibition in that little gallery space?
Which galleries?
There's kind of a room on the main level.
One of the like kids around.
It has books.
Oh, yeah, that kind of thing. I'm thinking more of like when it's more like event like things, kind of like the films where it's using the event space, people are coming in. It's almost like a reservation that we're reserving the space as an event,
Okay.
that kind of thing. But as far as walls and things like that.
That doesn't have to be. Okay. Okay.
Okay, confirmation of event booths, she just wanted me to ask you about the June market on the 17th. She remembered you were talking about it while we were talking about July 4th, while we were talking about Chili Fest. And she remembers that you landed on Chili Fest, but she couldn't remember what you said about June market, if Cass wanted a booth there.
We said we picked one. I have this one on my calendar, I can go sit at it, I don't want to do that, but that's 2 weeks away.
That is,
So do we have materials, stickers, posters, banners? Yeah,
Digital screens.
that we could probably manage, but
but they're not, are they programmed?
no, we could run the one that's on there, basically. So, sounds like we can't get right. Excited.
So maybe a different market? Or?
Yeah.
So no on the June. But possibly, and she'll be here next month, so that would be a good time to
Okay.
talk to her too. Maybe a future, how about that?
Can we get one of the markets have be like an art theme?
Yeah. We did like invite artists.
Oh, but wait.
There's me.
Speaking of which, Chris, I had a conversation with Michaela about the possibility of doing an art festival, because I've been wanting to do one ever since we were doing plein air. I don't know if you, some of you may remember the thoughts of expanding it and all of that, but now that we're kind of up and running in downtown, I thought it might be a really good idea, since it sounds like the mural festival would be biannual, that we do an art festival, then we do a mural festival, then we do an art festival, we do a mural festival. And it would basically, in my mind, be about the same time of year, very similar to what we're doing, you know, piggyback it with maybe fall festival, just have a lot of really cool stuff going on, but it would be, a scenario where we probably hire a consultant that runs art festivals. But it would, you know, be artists in having their booths and selling what they do at any other art festival. So what do you think?
Would this be combined with the summer market, is that?
Potentially we
That makes
could, or
sense.
not, but similar to how we're piggybacking, the mural festival with the fall festival, it could make sense to do the same thing.
Yeah,
With an art festival.
Take a look.
yeah, like that.
I like that idea. I was gonna, one of my questions for the council was gonna be their expectations of the mural fest, and whether they thought it was a annual or biannual, or, what budget implications that had and that kind of thing, so.
Well, I wanted to get your thought on it, because Michaela has it right now on the agenda for Monday, but she would pull back if you all weren't in favor of it.
I like the idea.
Who possibly could be against it?
Yeah, I'm against that.
I don't know.
I'm just thinking about the timing, because in the evenings, if it rains and the artists are with their work and
Candies.
I mean, usually, with art festivals, they usually always have their own tents, and they're usually very well equipped for weather, because they're usually artists that, are on the festival circuit. They're really well prepared. They, unless you have an artist who really has never done it before, usually they're all really good at it. They know exactly what to do. And again, it would be a very similar model where events and arts and history is kind of the primary lead. CAPS, of course, would help with, recommendations and things like that. But it would just be so similar to how we're doing the mural festival that. And obviously, unless CAPS wanted a certain specialized component of that would be a town event, not a CAPS expense. But obviously, since it's art, we want CAPS involved as far as recommendations, as far as how it's programmed and everything like that. And the other thing I wanted to mention to you is that completely separate with regards to the Marshall Fire Remembrance and the 5th anniversary of Marshall Fire. There's been a lot of conversations going back and forth between Louisville and Superior. The director, from Louisville has been in a lot of conversations with Leslie and a little bit with me, and it turns out they're doing a mural festival too for 2027. But then they're also doing art festival, and the beauty here is that it's on the off years from ours. So that could actually be some really, really, really cool cross marketing. So the years we're doing mural festival, they're doing an art festival and vice versa. So there could be this really fun kind of.
So if the town council thinks that the mural festival should be annual, what then?
My only concern with that is walls, unless they're repainted more frequently. But this was just an idea, and I think that's a great question. I think if that's something council wants, then that's the direction we may end up going. But this was a second thought, was we could just alternate with this art festival.
As a resident, I would love to see the art market happen more than, like, once a year.
Yeah.
More than every other. And I think it would be great as like to start the markets in the spring or early summer as opposed to ending the markets.
Yeah,
It just feels like a good, like, energy
yeah.
to get people out.
So what if we were to, do a mural festival fall of 2027, and if it's just a huge hit, we look into that, the frequency, is that what
You
you
mean
mean?
an art festival?
An art festival,
Yeah.
Or you're saying art market, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
well, whatever you call it, a market or a festival, because it's being paired with our summer markets,
Mhm.
right?
It could just be a matter of just inviting artists to the market, right?
Yeah,
Or just like trying to find some.
Mix it in.
Yeah, just
Lots.
mixing.
but like
I've been to
as the kickoff of the market season,
Yeah,
that to me feels like good energy, like finding new art for your house, as opposed to like going into the winter. So that's just.
so maybe sooner. Yeah,
Sooner and more frequent, because the market's way easier to pull off than the festival.
Yeah.
okay.
You know, since this is gonna hit you before, I guess, our conversation, you can represent these questions. Basically, sounds to me like it's both. Do we want to do murals annually, and do we want to do art markets annually?
And I think from the staffing, I don't know if we can handle 2 festivals a year.
Yeah.
That might be really hard. I think this is why Michaela and I were thinking about the alternating, plus the pattern that Louisville has, it really would work. It could work well if they actually are gonna be doing that too.
Yeah, I think the only comment that some of the board members, including myself, would have is like, why are 2 art events competing with each other? Let's take something else off the agenda. It doesn't, like, we're trying to talk about is trying to figure out how to do one art event. Let's take something else out, so that we could do 1 art event or 2 art events. And that needs to be the dialogue, right? Because that was a dialogue we had a year ago around like, okay, town board suggested mural festival, and staff says, no, we have too much other stuff on here. Like, no, we want to do this, take other stuff out. So I think that might be somewhere where we want to go, because I think.
Advocating for 2 festivals a year?
Or something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, or, if we did mural fest alternate years, we do the art fest every year. And then when we double it up, we take other stuff off the list.
Gotcha.
Because, there's still a lot of things to paint. And, depending on how, and this is weird to be making a decision about the mural fest when you haven't even seen how well it does.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part, like, it was really successful, so we're not gonna talk about it again until 2028.
Yeah, and then the second, another one, this is a big town, relatively speaking, right? I mean, so
Yeah.
if it's very successful downtown, how successful would it be if we had it over here?
Yeah.
So there is like, just within our business,
Yeah.
a little bit of unhappiness with the focus for the one part of town and the lack of focus for the other part. So it's a big deal.
Well, and hopefully the mural festival moves around in different parts of town. And that, and it could be, to your point, maybe there's a larger mural or art festival once a year, but then there's smaller markets.
Just,
Yeah,
just bring artists to the market. It doesn't have to be.
because I don't know a town that
big
does
events.
2 or more
No.
art festivals a year.
No, yeah.
But you could have art themed, what you're saying.
And are we making, is the town making progress on getting our own zip code? Because we should have it, so.
I haven't know where that sits in the government, you know, because Congress does so much, it's supposed to keep track of all the things they're doing.
Is that a congressional thing?
But yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Those are my updates.
Thank you. That was all.
That was a lot. I don't normally have that many.
All right, 6:50. Moving on to general updates, debriefs, and events. So starting with March Fire Remembrance, we actually had a meeting on Tuesday. Tuesday was the new Monday this week. And it was a big one. We haven't met in a couple of months. So Gigi, I can run through it, correct me, I'll try to be quick, but there was a lot, and we're more plugged into it now. Some things that came up, you know, we have to clear, you're aware of where or you're both aware of where the March Fire Remembrance is going, kind of off the front of the, over the trailhead on the Catherine.
I'll pull it right up if you wanna. He'll, if you're okay, I'll pull up photos.
Yeah.
He keeps talking.
Thank
Okay.
So that's Boulder County open space, and so we have to clear through them, and the impression I get is that they're generally supportive. They've got some opinions about not being gaudy and not having much utilities and not having it light up at night and various things, but generally supportive. There's no contracts, there's no agreements in place yet, because we don't have final engineering design stuff, so there's gonna be a little bit of iteration going on as we get funding and then get designs and then have something for them to approve, I guess, but anyway, generally positive.
I'll just quickly. Sorry. These are all materials and things like that, but basically. This is the Orman Roche parking lot right here. McCaslin is right over here. You'll see it. So it's basically a plaza that spirals down, built into the hillside.
You're not seeing that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there's a chasm there.
The range is kind of making right there.
And there's all kinds of, if you haven't seen them, Chris, you should read the presentation, you know, there's like the middle rings for the fire and then there's for the aftermath and recovery. I should change run through.
No irrigation, no lights, you know, very.
Natural materials.
No sound.
No sound. ADA, accessible throughout.
Yeah, I don't know, those look like very paintable routines.
You can add one of those QR codes there.
Yeah, it's a QR code. Yeah,
QR
yeah, at least it's signage as part of this.
Yeah.
Sponsored.
This is it's a multi-million-dollar project, so there'll be a lot. Okay, so Board County generally in support. The fundraising model for this, right, there's a weird chicken and egg thing going on. So we have this design concept, but there's no money. This is gonna be a multi-million-dollar project. So the fundraising, we and the architects believe this is a relatively easy problem just because of the nature of the event and how much impact it had. There's a lot of people that are gonna be willing to contribute, but the idea is to hire a professional fundraiser, if this exists, and work on commission. And that person would, on our behalf, go out and solicit, $2, $3, $1 million. We need to get some funding to get the engineering drawings. It's, again, it's circular budget. So I worked with Gigi and others, and we came up with an RFQ for the fundraiser. That's gone through iterations, it's gone through the project manager, the lawyer. The lawyer said no. So now we're in another iteration. As this is gonna come up at the work session, and we're gonna sort that out. But at the moment, we're a little bit in limbo about publishing this RFQ, getting our fundraiser, and starting to collect that money.
And just a little bit of background information, this project is kind of originally rooted in caps, because I think originally the idea or thought was that there would be a sculpture
Yeah.
put into place as sort of this commemorative whatever, but after the subcommittee, which is a member from each of the advisory groups, after a lot of engagement, it basically became clear that the residents did not want that, they would rather have a gathering place.
Yeah, it came out a lot, yeah.
Is there places for people, so people could go there and light a candle or something like that on the anniversary or something?
That's what nothing on fire.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, we
And
could definitely, I mean, I think.
There's all
we
kinds,
could
yeah.
be holding the 5-year there, but that's not gonna happen.
But that's just a little history of why, it was originally rooted in CAPS, but now it's kind of a subcommittee, but Andrew is the chair of the subcommittee.
Okay.
But each
Public space.
Each advisory group reports back the same kind of information.
And
But it
then-
is grown into a town, well, you know, it's taken the whole town to do something this big that is almost a piece of infrastructure at this point.
Yeah, and the fundraising is gonna come from residents.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, who's it gonna come from?
Maybe at the end, but we're hoping corporate government, you know,
Okay.
big dollar.
Okay.
And that was the idea behind hiring a fundraising consultant,
Okay.
somebody who's a firm that is well versed and experienced with the marketing savvy to go out and get those big donors.
Okay,
How lovely would it be if, you know, Target, Ulta,
It would
Costco,
be
you know,
lovely.
just
Yeah.
done, right? Well,
Yeah.
we'll see, but. Let's see, so we've had, Tesla. No, the joke is Excel, that's the real, that's the
oh.
real joke. Survey's been done, so they've just got the lay of the land, geotech is soon, right? And that way we can know how much fill we're gonna need and stuff to build something of this scale. There's been discussions with Louisville is interested in just sort of generally participating and being, you know, part of this, if they don't have anything of this scope or scale on their side, if they like what we've done and they recognize that it was a lot of work and that they're late to the game, so they're interested in just kind of being part. It will not impact our design, but maybe at least some compromise with certain the economic treatment. We're looking to get a donation from the Lions Club through Dalton's connections with the Historical Commission. They've got some money that they collected from for the fire that they've used in the various ways between Louisville and Superior, but the remaining they're looking to donate to the Marshall Fire Remembrance. So that's great. I miss anything big, JG, from that meeting? There was a lot. Any questions on status of Marshall Fire? And the next steps are figuring out the funding sort of legality. And then we have that RFQ, which I think is good. So we can figure out kind of
What's
who's doing
the legal hurdle up there?
Can I?
If a municipality can hire a fundraiser, because municipalities don't have typically raise money.
Okay, to create a nonprofit.
But there's, it's whether or not the partnership can be in place.
Okay,
And we even have nonprofits kind of on tap.
Yeah.
Where there's still a discussion about if they can grow to the scale and what the charters are, get them on board and writing memos of understanding for how money is used, so there's still a bunch of.
okay.
And there may have been a misunderstanding about where the money would sit. I don't know if our town attorney thought that the money would go into a town account, or that could have been a misunderstanding. I'm sure there's a lot of clarification, because I think the subcommittee had a good list of questions. So I think a lot will come out between now and Monday with council.
Anything else on the Marshall Fire Remembrance? All right, then, let's see. Frameworks. So yeah, we did have a work session, and that was just Liza, myself, artist, and Sherry's the one who had purchased the products. Kat's purchased them, but she's the one that hadn't had the idea, so she brought them and demonstrated the rest of us how to apply the product. And then since then, the four of us have taken these spray bottles and these templates and then put it in our town and stuff.
Ours actually has an example.
Yeah, I have it.
Well, she could show us. Just so you know the scale of the templates or the.
I mean,
you know, the
they're different sizes, but the ones I did up at the, Wildflower Park were a flower and butterflies, and Andrew had some different sized butterflies. And I just kind of put them around the prairie dog and the fountain and there's a circle.
And then I did a surprise drive-by
Yeah.
that I didn't even see you, but you saw me and I was checking on a sculpture.
And so we, these are cameos, right? I mean, somebody has to be out basically in the rain or,
Oh, it shows up when it rains?
Yeah.
So this is the work session, so this is the application process. You put it down, spray it, and you can see the overspray, and that'll come in later, you see the overspray. That's why we have them generally embedded in a piece of poster board when we're applying it, right? So spray it, let it dry, spray it, let it dry, spray it, let it dry. It takes like 10 minutes.
Was the overspray intentional?
No,
because
it's
you
just
have
really
right areas, right? And
If
so
it's
then,
windy or.
so this is fully cured, and then we threw a cup of water on it, right? So, this is wet, and this remaining dry or dry-ish, and that's what happens in the rain, is you can see the block. And then the overspray, the fact that you can see the box is just because we weren't super careful. Very cool. I mean, it stayed dry, even in prolonged rain, like sort of saturates, but it still shows. So let's see, this was me and my daughter running around, a big piece of board, and we was doing the little butterflies all around Riverfront Park. I think, Liza, I think this was one that you sent, so this, you can see that the product itself beads up on the previous layer. It can take a long time to dry, and it takes a little bit of finesse to figure out how to put it down smoothly so that you don't get a bunch of beads that take forever to evaporate. If there's I think this one was yours, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so, Liza did a couple by Bear Park and so they did to the group about, some kid playing and stuff. So it's good. Sherry had the big ones, so I think maybe you can see here, like this thing rolled up. This is like full hopscotch, like an 8-foot hopscotch. And Sherry kept the big ones. I do not know from her if she got a chance to lay those out anywhere. We talked about doing that in pools.
Yeah, Liza, do you want to explain that?
Well, I mean, so if you can see where we did those, at the civic space area, the concrete there is super fresh and clean and it's not pitted. And that's where you get the really best, the crispest sort of edges and images. And I had actually done a little sample on my own sidewalk outside my house, and I was like, ooh, those don't look so good because it's, the product pools and it kind of leaks when you don't have a super flat surface. And then when I went to do the north pool, I mean, I haven't been to the pool this season and we don't go that much anymore because our kids are older, but the pools are getting redone for a reason because the surface area of the pools is pitted and broken and bumpy and pretty nasty. So I did have some success at the pools, but the surface area is really, I don't know that it's worth it at this point because it is kind of labor intensive to kind of just do it and have it not look really good. That was my sort of take. Lots of bumps and pebbles and dirt and mini potholes at the pools. So.
Yeah, and so my opinion is unless the people who have not been doing this want to tag in and start doing it, we're probably done. I think the four of us that have been doing it are about done around the time.
It's a lot of work, you said?
It's a spray bottle, right? So you put your thing down, you put rocks on it because they curl, right? So you put rocks on it, spray it. That takes a few seconds, and then you stand there for 3, 4, 5 minutes while that layer dries. Spray it again, stand another 3, 4, 5 minutes. So it takes
Multiple
maybe
sessions.
15 minutes to really do one spot good.
Yeah.
And if you have a bunch of templates, right, if you were at SES and you had 10 templates, you could take them all down and spray, and go around or something, right? So there's efficiencies that could be had, but.
I actually timed it if you're interested. I did like 5 of them at Bear Park and I was there 45 minutes. Because it does take at least 5 full minutes, and that's if it's sunny out for each layer to dry. So it's not that it's labor intensive, it's that it's time consuming to wait. And you can only, unless you bring 10 different stencils with you and just set them all up at once and then spray and then start over, you're just doing like 2 or 3 at a time and then having to start all over again. So you're gonna be there a couple hours.
I did a bunch of one coat ones because I was curious and it felt like you shouldn't have to, and the difference is noticeable.
If it's not sunny, it doesn't dry very fast.
Right. But the kids, when I showed the little kids that were there, at the Bear Park where they were nice and crisp, because that's a new park. They were super excited. I do worry that people won't stumble across them necessarily. They're completely invisible unless you know you're there. That's why I left my little outline that said water me. But thank you. But yeah.
Yeah, you should put that over here on the wall so that.
Yeah, because once they water it, that's gonna.
Yeah. But yes, the kids liked him, so that's good.
Yeah, it's fun, man. I don't know if maybe we should try to get a picture and have the town say surprises lurk on the sidewalks or something, just, whatever, because otherwise it's just, we're not gonna hear back. We're gonna delight a handful of dog walkers. It is very fun, little Easter egg, little cameos, but we're not gonna hear back about the great looks.
Secret. So is this related to, I know we're talking about actual stamps in the concrete, is this?
No.
Or this is something totally different? Is this was there like a comprehensive plan, or this was just like, we're just gonna go try this out and see what it looks like, or
This was
did you think about like where you wanted to do it, or?
This is 3 years in progress. I think Sherry had the idea several years ago. We got into the work plan last year.
Uh-huh.
It took so long to acquire and roll out, and we had injuries
Oh, no.
that we decided it wasn't gonna be useful. Like, we were too close to the end of the summer that people weren't gonna see it. So we just kept it in the bag and did it in the spring.
Okay.
So 3-year project.
It's just kind of like trying it out in different areas to see what it looks like.
Stuff. Yeah. I think we did like a midnight caps.
Yeah.
Night caps.
Nice,
Right?
nice.
Yeah.
But if you wanna, if you do want me to submit something to communications, just if I have all the images and roughly where they are, we can come up with
How long did it
kind of a
last?
cute
Is it
thing.
like one season kind of thing, or a month?
So Sherry said that the ones that she did very carefully
Uh-huh.
lasted like indefinite,
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, it's not indefinite, they don't advertise it, it's indefinite.
Yeah.
It was like, it's been 3 months and they're still.
Oh, 3 months, not like,
Well, that
10
was,
years.
that was as long as she
okay,
observed it, but yeah,
okay,
no, it's not a big problem.
Yeah.
I think the Bear Park ones are probably good enough, because there's water there, kids with cups and things, so maybe if we can go back, Liza, you or I or both, and, get like, something like this, and a dry picture, and then wet it, and get JG some media that she can advertise, it might be fun.
Yeah.
Unless you think you have a set of things that would make good PR, and
Can you use that video that I sent? Just take the video out? I mean, the sound out?
you said use with permission, but I don't, we have to see how the, town, how much permission they actually need.
Oh,
in
right.
form of Release.
We could stage a video, I guess.
Yeah, we could use our kids. And
Okay.
my
Amy.
senior gentleman, she's.
People will be like, bruh.
yeah, exactly, that's what you get.
All right, so that's Rainworks. Upcoming, we've got the next couple of films on here. Chris, you'll be able to introduce Life with Chuck tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm gonna rock this game. And generally, again, for those who are new, these are going great, and they're well received. The Life of Check is our first R-rated or non-documentary fictional story, so I'll be interested to see what the crowd was.
Stephen King story.
What kind of seating is in there for watching the movie?
Temporary, actually very comfortable.
But they are,
They're comfortable.
Yeah, they're not
You can
like
sit there.
metal studio chairs, they're mesh sort of plastic, and they're pretty comfortable sitting.
2 hours is not bad.
Have you heard of them prior to being on campus? Have you heard of the films?
The film series.
I've seen it in publications,
good.
and yeah, I have heard of it, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
Just a reminder, they start at 6.
Yeah. When it's
The,
like,
I mean, I think maybe
Like 7 now, and it's still light.
yeah.
yeah, and JD got some fabric that covers the garage door now and stuff, so it's pretty good. Crowd's been mixed. I think the previous one was a little bit small. The Prime Minister was very well received.
was it?
Yeah.
It was good.
Good.
That one was good.
And everybody, even with a small crowd, people come up to me after, oh, this is so great. I've heard people say they're from Louisville and other
Yeah.
places, you know, so they're very well received. The people that are enjoying them are really enjoying them. So definitely feel like we're getting our money's worth out of that.
And you started a thing where you start showing the trailer for the next one.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that is queued up for tomorrow. Just so you know.
Okay, great.
It's just like literally on YouTube where you press play.
Yeah.
Okay, that does it for our updates for plan check-in. We have Mural Festival on here first. That might be fast, but we talked about mural a lot already. Do you have anything in particular? Is there anything we need to discuss in particular about?
So I think we kind of hit this, just if there's anything from the group, I mean, we kind of did staff updates and we know who our jurors are and that they'll be reporting back.
Thoughts on the media, I guess we could discuss any strong feelings about paying for photographers. The town has photographers, I assume they'll be there, you know, we can't lean on them too hard. Or, you know, can't just assume that Isaac is gonna take a full day's worth of photos. I can take pictures. But if we want a professional.
Yeah.
Is that included in any capacity in the call details for the submitting artists, that they also take photos or videos?
At the last meeting, last CAPS meeting, somebody said, well, let's get all the artists to send in a handful of photos.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
But I think the other part is, getting just documenting the event itself and getting those testimonials from, residents and the artists themselves, that's part of the package, is that videographer would be, talking to the artist and talking to residents while they're looking and talking to the artist, so there's that part too. But I hear ya. But I think, yeah, if you guys, however you want to approach that, I had to start somewhere. And that's kind of what I went with. But those are all great ideas. And then the other thing I was gonna add is what, we can put in a request for Isaac to help, but to your point, he has doing photography for the town is like this much of his job. But,
He was out at the summer market.
yeah, so he does do it, but his primary job is website stuff. But he does drone work, too, and that could be kind of fun to get some drone images.
Yeah. We want to be able to publicize it later, and put it up on all use the videos for next year's advertising and all that stuff.
But maybe you ask for half of that,
That seems like a lot.
It does seem like a lot.
Seems like a lot of money.
maybe it's half,
Thousands a lot.
maybe it's 2.5 hours of pre-event and, it's easy to cut back than it is to add.
Or does anybody have a connection they can ask to hire?
No.
We need to just be thinking about it. We haven't felt over. Okay.
Or just crowdsource it, everyone take pictures, submit it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Make it like a-
that's actually been something on my mind, just sort of as a general product is, you know, we went to Seattle and in the Space Needle, they got an actual format and it says take a selfie here, right? And so you take a selfie, you scan the QR code and you submit it to the URL and, you know, it goes up onto their feed or whatever, you know. There's a thing, we did the walk on a trail in Boulder and they've got a place where you can, a little 3D printed thing where you can slot your phone in, and that's actually a ecological thing. They want you to, it's the same thing, it's a QR code, and you put your phone there and take a picture and send it, and they get a crowdsourced time lapse of the stream, cool, right, which is cool, but we've had this idea before of having, you know, a bronze easel or something where people might wanna put a canvas and paint purple bark or something, but having little Kodak moment spots in various places, you know, with the rings or in over Rose Trailhead, just folded to the top of one of those things, right?
I love the 3D printed camera holder idea.
And you just screw it into the top of the,
You put up
fence post
15 of them all over.
and say hashtag superior art or Roche, whatever, you know.
And one of the concepts for this building when we were working through it was a photo wall, kind of where the little food kiosk is now, and there's a bench that we tore out. There was going to be a photo wall that could be dynamically updated. It was part of the concept, but obviously it required, it's great to put in the concept for the architects and then staff, it just wasn't on the list.
We have the screens,
We
right?
have the screens now.
One of the ways we could program the screens could be a curated, you know, you do your hashtag all of Instagram, download them all and make sure they're all appropriate and put them up on the screen.
So we'll find a way.
Yeah. So something like, you know, back to the relevance to the Neural Festival, right? Like having a bunch of, you know, crowdsourcing, you know, a bunch of QR codes or hashtags or something that lets us gather.
Another way for the residents to also participate in the festival.
We've also used Qrati before. I haven't seemed to have a hard time getting traction, but it's the same thing. It's QR code and you can submit and you can vote and then you get a little bit of crowd, social media sort of angle to it.
I mean, there's the possibility of, you know, cutting the photography part out of that and just having a videographer to capture video, put the interviews and make videos similar to what he's done and not do the photography part.
Me, Isaac, and the crowds
Mhm.
for the photos. And all of you, and I know too, yeah, we all work around. They're gonna be painting almost a week, I think, before the festival would like to reveal. Almost, they're gonna be mostly done, right, so it'd be good to get some stuff in there.
And, you know, that was just a starting point, plenty of time to think about it, like you said, so.
Okay, so we've got ARTery. I don't have a whole lot to say other than we've met with Claire and, you know, this was something that you had back in early caps.
Yeah, it's in the plan for 2019.
Yeah, and so my suggestion again is to hand this off, just because you seem like you have more time and energy than I do to pursue it. And for the group discussion, we have a significant budget still, even with the Mural Festival and everything else we got going on. And the intention, it's labeled under ARTery, but it's also art acquisition and installation. So tens of thousands of dollars we can, should purchase and suggest a piece to the council. And we want to be deliberate. I think we've gotten stuck late in the year scrambling, right? And it's May, June is a administrative meeting, right? Time's gonna slip away very fast. So thinking about the ARTery, being deliberate, trying to decide whether we find a piece and look for the place to put it, or come up with a place we want a piece and find something that's appropriate there.
I think that was the better way.
Find a piece first.
I think so.
Find a location first.
Location.
Sure with that.
Yes, yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to spend as much as possible on this remaining budget on art. And then, yeah, I like the idea of coming up with finding locations, finding maybe some interactive type of things to go along that route.
Is there a subcommittee for ARTery?
It was supposed to be.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
I think you would be good at great one.
I thought, Drew, you were recreating that subcommittee.
It was probably, which probably means Sue's.
I think it might, well, no, it was after Sue's left. It was like 4 meetings ago, I think you mentioned, or 5, that you mentioned having.
Well, I mentioned it every time.
Okay, yeah.
Is there a database or some way that you can see artwork for sale? Like large artwork or the for local
You
artists?
looked at one.
How do you know what's out there?
Networked the hell out of it,
Really?
yeah.
I'll send you some stuff.
A lot of art that's like worthy art is
Yeah.
already bought and commissioned. A lot
So,
of stuff that is on the shelf waiting to be bought
Isn't
is
good.
like, you can see why it's sitting there.
interesting.
So,
Okay,
you just have to find the artists that,
do you like?
well, yeah, I mean, when I reached out to my former just network of sculpture manufacturers and distributors, and they sent me a list back of, I wanna say it was like 15 different artists that they knew had pieces were available.
Okay,
And so then I just had to go through and review all of that, and then I think I brought 5 or 6 to the committee.
We did them all. Coyote Hawk, Silencio, and Watcher Cedar all came.
Well, no, there were others that we didn't pick,
Yes.
so. I think-
But then there's also all the galleries in Denver and Boulder, you know, the gallery owners, you know, I mean, you can at least look at who they're representing,
Mhm.
find the sculptors in there, and at least have a sense of what sculptors are around,
Yeah.
and kind of
I
go
wonder
from
if there are
there too.
specific artists that create things for the outdoors.
Yeah, our Arvada's Art Center, they've got a big outdoor sculpture garden
Okay, so now
where
let's
they
see.
host pieces.
Okay,
And a lot of those are local artists. I think maybe all of them are local artists.
So
okay.
Our one piece Silencio was there for a while.
you rescue.
Yeah.
We kind of say that because the Arvada Center is amazing, don't want to say negative, but that sculpture garden, yeah,
We could use a little polish.
yeah,
Kind of like the sculpture parking lot.
yeah.
Sculpture
Yes.
garden.
And so we lovingly say that we rescued Silencio,
Okay,
because it was just out there in this field.
okay,
But there's some really awesome pieces there.
okay.
Yeah.
Chris, will you join Claire?
Yeah.
For one day.
The artery subcommittee, artery.
Or
acquisition.
Sochi,
Sure.
or anybody. Yeah,
Yes?
sure,
I
okay.
mean, so it's 2 for a subcommittee.
2 for subcommittee, but you would work with me. And then report back to the group, and the group can help all the time.
Okay.
And yeah, so specifically, I think we want to figure out, like, if we're doing a location, we should pick that, right? If we're doing a
Yes.
location first, we need to,
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
The location is the hard part.
and so doing the research and coming back. So, you know, things that we'll mention, just because we've been thinking about this, there's where Coyote Hawk was,
Mhm.
that's an easy one. Don't, you know, that's an artery endpoint as well.
Mm.
There's, the Caps Creek, which is the creek that runs basically all the way from Town 15 all the way.
Community park, like,
Community
by
park.
Safeway.
And be high as rail was.
It's
Oh, right
a-
behind Safeway.
it's a lovely spot, it's, you know, there's a floodplain, open space has feelings about it, there's a lot of, you know, it's
Yeah.
not technically on the artery, except it crosses it, so, but anyway, it's a lovely place that we talked about.
It is an untapped resource.
No,
And then there's just this general sentiment that downtown has been served
In terms of art.
in terms of art for the time being.
Okay.
And then for pieces, Chris sent out a link very early in the year that I can dig up and send out. You send somebody that had a bunch of really interesting abstracts, like pieces.
Oh, well, yeah, there is actually a fabrication site.
that's what I was talking about. I thought that's what you were talking about with the on the shelf thing, but.
No, I meant like the artists that have stuff that hasn't sold. Like, there's a handful of artists in Longmont, Erie, and they've got stuff that's available, and I didn't find it.
It's not great.
No, but there's also a website that actually creates on demand from existing sort of templates that they've got.
Mm.
A lot of them are interesting, like polished stainless, and
They wouldn't be one of a kind.
they're not high art, right?
Yeah.
They're not like super collectibles, they're more like landscape pieces or something to just kind of like fill a space.
And weren't the prices like really reasonable?
Yeah, they're under 15 grand. They're relatively large.
Like, so you could get almost 2 or 3
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I saw that site too, and there's some pretty decent stuff on there.
surprisingly interesting for sort of Credit Forte art, but.
Yeah.
I also did just find CrowdCam. It's an app that allows for crowdsourcing video and photos.
What's the name?
Crowdcam.ai. And it's like $50 per day. So could be a good way to collect crowdsourced video for the council.
That would only be a lot less money.
Yeah.
So as far as the current artery map and all of that.
I'll send that to you as well.
Okay.
Let
And
me-
then maybe the 3 of us can sit down and
Okay.
just really kind of hash it out, and you two can come up with a vision and a
Yeah.
plan, and
See what we can get done.
yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I'd love to know more about like the master plan vision for the art originally.
Yeah.
Because that's always been a big question mark in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the idea that someone could take a pathway, through all of Superior, and there would be, along the way, there'd be different art experiences,
And we had thoughts about signage, sidewalk markings, glossy flyers that told stories, events along the path, 5Ks, 5-milers, we're full of ideas, but
Yeah,
short
we
on
need the art.
time and
There's
resources.
also the locations, right? So like just the connecting spots that we had sort of a rough map
Mhm.
that we would
Yeah.
thought would work, but.
Chris, I found those screen captures Chris sent back in the day. So these are so it's premiersculpture.com, and these are something that you would just found interesting.
Yeah.
The sort of things that they have to offer. We could have our own, I think we made this joke before, we could have our own Chicago Bee.
Yeah.
Are Monarch schools part of downtown
That
of
was-
Superior
No,
or they are
they're
in
in
Louisville?
Louisville. It's Louisville.
We have SES and Aldo. I kind of love that.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is about it. Electric. Kind of reminds me of a bear down
I
there.
was just gonna say that, it's the same.
Yeah, Polygon animals.
You know, that bear was not supposed to have that on it. It was a mock-up that the artist presented to Denver Arts and Venue, and they loved it.
One just like that.
But yeah, that was not the plan.
Huh. Good stories. All right, where are we at? 7:30.
We're the Sacramento airport, got that rabbit painting. I don't know, there's a big rabbit that painted at the Sacramento airport, and the same artist did another rabbit at one of the wineries in Sonoma. That's what that rabbit was like.
All right, so let's move on to discussion. We had the FODs as well, we'll put it on. Okay, so we've got this idea of the digital art exhibition, and we're gonna go full RFQ with Shape Superior, and JD and I have been working on details of that.
And I think we're 98% done. It's just really this last part. So just, if you're okay.
Yeah, go.
So basically, it would be a call out to local Superior artists for essentially a slideshow on the monitors that CAPS purchased, multiple monitors that they purchased in the past. And we would have at least one, if not two, at Civic Space and Community Center, depending on how many artists apply. We don't, how many artists apply, I think you said kind of would depend on the length of the exhibits, but the idea right now is to maybe go quarterly. So I would handle posting the call, downloading the images, helping to get everything lined up for CAPS to jury the exhibits, help to make the splash pages, but basically, if they're to be quarterly or however often they are, we need a CAPS member to like kind of put these exhibits together and get them exported as MP4 files so that they're ready to go. So it would be kind of working with me on that, but we need at least one, if not two people to sort of head up this exhibit idea. And we don't have everyone here, we're missing Sherry and Stephanie, so.
My daughter has done, she's in film at Monarch and has Final Cut Pro or something, so she did the slideshow that rolled out here. So in terms of technical, I think she and I can make that happen. But in terms of sort of like leading the project, I've got a lot going on. So
I can do anything, but probably not the technical.
well, then maybe there's a partnership there.
Okay, that's fine.
So the two of you, that's the work group?
Yes.
Okay.
And what is the timing on?
After we figured that out, I think we would just fine tune the call, get it out on Shakespeare and get it rolling, but the idea was to have, I think, 6 to 8 weeks for people to apply in.
We really just don't know what we're gonna see, right? If 100 people each send us 30 photos, then maybe we just run different ones on every screen 2 months at a time and cycle them fast, or we get 4.
And there's no pay, right? It's just no.
Mhm.
Just town superior.
Yeah,
It's just the, opportunity by CAPS to
Yeah.
feature your art, and it can be any art medium, that's the beauty, because it's just a slideshow, so ceramicists, jewelers, photographers, and, we even threw in video, if it's a video artist. So I think a lot is gonna depend on how many. I think that was your response when I kept asking different questions.
Yeah, I think how
You're right.
long they're gonna run. Well, if we get 100 responses versus 4, right? Or do we show one, have 4 screens all showing, an artist that did forests and beaches and sunsets and animals or something, and so it's a whole gallery of one artist, or, we have 100, so it's artist 1, 2, 3, 4, or I don't know.
Yeah, and one way to kind of cut back on the workload is when they apply, they have to, I think there's like a minimum of 10 images, maximum of 15 or 20 or something like that. So that the images are already pretty much there, like this would be your exhibit. And then we would just put in the splash pages to explain what this is. So it wouldn't be overly labor intensive, but obviously CAPS needs to review them, make sure it's a good fit, all of that.
One of the thoughts that I had pushed when I pitched the digital screens in the first place was that we would do potentially like collaborative shows with other towns. The idea maybe was that the screens might travel to those other towns, but I think you could easily like reach out to the public art committees in Louisville and even Longmont, Lyons, wherever, and say, we'd love to feature some of your artists in a rotating show. So if you're not getting good submissions on the call.
Yeah, we talked big talk, right? We had even talked about commissioning, and we had talked about events, having like receptions like JG has for the snaps, right? To have some grapes and cheese blocks and have, people come out and advertise up and down 36. So we talked to this, somebody's got to organize it.
Yeah, I mean, the first one I did felt like a lot of work.
Yeah.
It felt like a lot of work, but it was the middle of winter, so we didn't get a lot of people. I enjoyed it. I thought the work that I found was awesome.
And we used them for the AI thing, and we had 4 or 5 of them, and it was, again, a great event, a lot of fun, people that were there, but it wasn't a huge turnout.
Yeah. So that's where maybe collaborating with other public art committees might be helpful for generating bigger awareness.
We're here now, we've been doing this for months, so I think we're continuing with Shape Superior, but yeah.
Definitely something to keep thinking about, especially if we're continuing to forge partnerships and collaborative work with Louisville and Montreal.
Okay, so we're gonna path forward there. Last meeting, I sort of impulsively brought up this email I sent as a resident to Public Works about doing something with the stamped concrete as they're rebuilding Rock Creek Parkway and tearing out turn lanes and things. And my idea had been something really cryptic with, Morse code and stuff. And then I said, oh, we just, stamp footprints in the concrete. And they're like,
Yeah.
So about stamping footprints into the concrete. Gotta find all of this.
While you do that sort of non sequitur, is there, was there ever like decision about the roundabout that's going in at Cold Creek?
Roundabout's going in.
Yeah, well, the roundabout's going in, but as far as park goes.
Right, about like what's gonna go on the roundabout
Oh, in the center
in
of
the
it?
center?
Is that in, I don't think that's part of it.
No, there's, I mean, something that was in the public works scope, but I think there's something that, Cash could recommend was just not on our radar. We're all excited because it came in on the budget.
But somebody mentioned when we talked about it that it's being left, the center is being left free of utilities and things on purpose, right? To put that.
Yeah, so that sometime in the future, something could go there.
But right now, there's a ton of trees and stuff in there, right? We got.
No,
Cold Creek.
no.
Oh,
It's gonna be brand new.
It is called the intersection of Cold Creek and Rock Creek Park.
oh, okay.
There's not much of anything. Bunch of construction vehicles right now.
Public Works has been working with the contractor, and so what we asked for last time was some ideas and a budget, because it's, you gotta buy the stamps, and then somebody gotta go out there and actually do it while they're pouring the concrete, right? And so, the response is essentially that for a given site, buying the stamps, the town would then own them, and then using them on a given chunk of concrete is about $500 per. So that's per like chunk, assuming you do a separate footprint and a separate panel of each one.
How big are the panels?
The size of these 4 tables together, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, do I have that? I'm sure. All right, well, let's first just, so, they sent a couple of, footprint things there. What is this? Coyote. There it is, deer.
People don't think those animals actually did that.
I know, that's, you see these in nature centers and that kind of thing, and it gives you a moment of pause, right? Especially, so this is actually duck and geese, though, we could pretend that it was geese. You might actually think a goose walked. Coyote and geese, I think, are winners. This is bear.
I like bear.
Fox, I don't know if anybody really tell the difference except for the open space group. Oh.
Doing like fox and coyote and like a gray wolf for like size comparisons would be.
Oh, educational.
Well, it sounds fun and it sounds affordable.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
The total, she said.
Well, she said if we did, all right, so I got a cost estimate for the stamps with 1 crossing in each lane removable. There are 5. And it includes the town keeping the stamps for future projects. She's now sent the pictures. If we did 1 animal in each of the lane removals, it would be $2,500 to $2,700 between. So the bear is $200 more.
it'd be kind of weird to have different tracks on each panel.
Maybe, oh, like an elk, and then it turns into a duck. Or
Kind of strange. Or do we need to put the same tracks on all panels?
We should, this one, I don't really understand. She did, so this is the pricing for the individual stamps, and then she sent this example, right, for one place that a turn lane is getting removed. And so I guess she drew some footprints, so I think she's saying that for an entire turn lane, right, so this is many panels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, actually, this iteration happened in the last like 2 or 3 days. We've been tagging the contractor, so I don't know if, when she says 1, for each lane removal, to me, that implies that this is just 1, which I think that would be stellar,
Yeah.
to do 5 things at that scale.
How long of a distance is, I'm assuming this is an extension of what's already at the top of our Creek Parkway, like what it's gonna look like?
Yes, so
On
the
that
stuff
road?
that's up where they remove the acceleration lane.
Yes,
That is
that's what it's gonna
the
be.
color and general feel of the stamp concrete.
And is that gonna be continuous throughout Rock Creek Parkway or to the roundabout there, or?
It's where they're removing turn lanes. So for example, Indiana and Rock Creek Parkway going up the hill.
Yeah,
There's a turn lane from Rock Creek Parkway going to Indiana. They're taking it out. There'll just be 2 lanes with no turn lane. So when they fill that in, they're gonna put the gravel and the stamped concrete there.
so it'll be on the other side of the road from where it already is, is that what we're saying? Or down the street a little more.
Yeah, they're now, so all the stuff up, west of Indiana has already been done. So
Yeah.
this is the Indiana down to, down to ARTery Park or whatever that they're doing.
It's all that way.
All that way.
Okay, so then, but does this cover, how far does this cover? That one go the entire way or would that?
I think she's saying that there's, help me with the turn lanes. There's there's one in Indiana. There is,
Up the hill, yep.
yeah,
So there, it's not continuous, it's like just.
No, yeah, the one between Pitkin and
I
Cass
see.
was like that whole lane.
Okay,
But if you think about on the other side of Rock Creek Parkway, going down the hill,
Yeah.
and it was just sort of like 7 or 8 car lengths that got taken out.
okay.
so
Wait,
it's
so how many
basically
turn-
5 separate turn lanes.
I
There's the
see.
one in Indiana, there's one in
Okay.
Coal Creek. Coal Creek's turned into a roundabout, so.
But we are using the turn lane that was there.
And they're not being fully consumed by the roundabout.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then there's Wiggins, or not, I'm sorry, Coleridge, and, well, one side is Coleridge, and the other side's, ARTery.
Everywhere there were bollards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
ugly bollards.
So could we do like a different set of animal tracks on each of those?
That's, I think, what it's.
That's what we're talking about?
You do a different
Okay.
set of prints. So $2,500, $2,700
Per
would be
segment,
total for the whole thing.
total for the whole thing?
2,700 is 5
Let's do it,
separate prints and 5 separate.
that's great,
Where's our board?
I'm on board,
5 prints in
that's great.
5 sections, right?
Yeah, she specifically said, cost estimate for the stamps with 1 crossing in each lane removable. There are 5. So I think this
Yeah.
counts as an entire lane
That's
removal.
what the later will be, okay.
And she drew in little footprints here, I guess.
Who's gonna do the pattern?
The contractor who does the
Pouring.
because they do the stamps, they put in those interlocking.
But you're worried about what it's gonna.
I'm already just gonna be like a single file line.
That won't look like. We're gonna have to do some research.
Well, that's why the bear is like, the bear's got it
out there. Next time, where can I pull apart where your art at? Come on.
I mean, the bear's got front and back. I think you do need to know a little something about
Yeah.
how a bear walks, right?
Yes, that's for,
You're going for realism, I'm not the time engineering person.
All right, let's see. We have 18 minutes. This is something we need to vote on because we're spending money. So how do we feel about doing $2,700 worth of concrete stamping? And we would own these patterns if it comes up again elsewhere. We could do it somewhere else.
Does that include, I'm sorry, does it include all of those, or you have to, these are separate?
It includes them, but we have to pick them, I think. So, because she gave, there's more than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we would choose 5 of these. And if you use bear, you're extra $200.
okay,
But there's only 5 places.
yeah.
Okay, I understand.
I think yes, but
Yes.
kindergartners should do the stamping.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's our little to do. It's right there in your backyard. And it is.
I'm in favor.
Okay, so let's, what will we choose? Gigi, so we like bear,
Yeah.
we
Can
like,
we see them again?
yes, duck,
Yeah.
like duck, but we're not gonna tell anybody it's a duck.
You have square.
Goose,
Squirrel, what do squirrels look like?
It wasn't. I don't think that was on the list.
yeah, no, I'm not sure we can go off the reservation here, these are what they found.
Surprising that's all.
We won't pay the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so bear, coyote. There's
Duck,
deer and elk. They like duck.
I mean, you don't have to buy 5 different, do you?
No,
I like the bears.
like bear. Fox is cool, but I don't know if anybody can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something for Bosac to lecture on. So there's fox, the elk, which look a lot like the deer, only bigger.
Yeah. So either elk or deer.
Yeah, or to Judy's point, we don't have to, we could say only buy the 3 stamps and just use bear twice or
Oh,
coyote twice or.
that's true.
I don't like the deer and elk. Yucky.
Yeah, not like the.
They look a little weird to me too. I don't know.
Yeah,
A little testicular.
Those clothed animals.
I like that that's the only thing you said at this meeting.
Yes.
Leave it to Liza.
All right, and we've got fox. Is fox different than, how much is fox different? A little bit.
Okay. Do the fox then.
So 4.
Those are only options? Are we really limited to just that?
We are at the mercy of the quotes we can get. I could have done our own research, but we didn't.
Wasn't there a conversation about the preference for footprints? Or like,
That happened, but then, yeah, they just don't want Christine out the way, because we had talked about just stamping a straight up bird, you know, just stamping a seagull in it or whatever, just. We also don't have to do 5.
Well, we don't want to leave just one of them blank.
Okay. So we've got fox and coyote, bear and duck. Do we just want to do 2 bears?
2 bears, yeah.
2 bears or 2 ducks?
Okay, so I would like to make a motion that we approve a spend of $2,700, maybe less than, up to $2,700 to purchase the fox, bear, coyote, and duck stamps, and to use the bear twice on the 5 panels. We didn't have a second now.
I'll second.
All right, can we do a roll call without further please?
Andrew,
Yes.
Liza,
Yes.
Chris,
Yep.
Artis,
Yes.
Claire,
Yes.
Sochi.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. For the artwork. Moving forward quickly, let's see. Moving forward quickly to stickers. So for those new to the group, we've got this idea of just having some merch to hand out when we're at festivals and stuff, just to kind of keep ourselves in people's minds, to have something to hand out when we're at the booths at the Chili Fest and the.
Maybe a market?
Market, thank you, market. So between me taking the picture, JD doing some photoshopping, Liza doing some background removal, and Chris doing trimming and putting in some text, yeah, this is the type of thing we're thinking for a sticker. It would be die cut. Chris, what was the rough cost estimate on?
I mean, it depends on how low we got, but less than $500
For
1,000 or, I can give you an exact estimate. Right.
But if that's, enough, you know, if that's rough estimate, you could give it off to you, which is good.
Depends on the size of the sticker as well. So if you want to call that 3 or 4 inches long, 4 by 2, still.
And I think this is more about the expense and not the design as much, right?
right, we can probably finalize them.
1,000 of them would be $350. 500 of them would be $200.
About Does it keep getting cheaper or,
Cheaper per sticker, yeah.
I mean, the higher you go?
Yeah, if you did 10,000 stickers, it's $1,900.
One for everybody in town.
It says 350 for 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be at Chili Fest, I could do more than that.
570 for 2,000.
Yeah, what is our total head count at Chili Fest? It's probably like 3 or 4.
I was gonna say 4 to 5.
Yeah. So if you had like 1,500 to 2,000, probably more than enough.
And
I mean, cause you're gonna give them out how, at a booth? Or, so, then you're counting on 2,000 people stopping by looking up to, that won't happen.
That's true.
We can do 1,000 and then run.
Yeah. Order more.
I have to say back about 10 for Hillary though. She especially requested
But
that.
if we give them all away at the, say, the July market and need more Chili Fest, we can do that.
Mhm.
It comes up to 34 cents a sticker
Okay.
for 1,000 of them.
are these water bottle stickers, like plasticky?
That's a good question.
Are they what?
Can you put it on a water bottle or laptop? Is it like this or is it just a regular sticker?
Plastic?
No, they're vinyl die cut
They're
stickers.
vinyl? Okay. Okay.
All right, what should I say to capture? I guess
It literally says right here, perfect stickers for laptops, water bottles, and more.
Perfect.
Cars,
Thick, durable vinyl.
So, all right, I'll make a motion that we approve up to $400 to buy 1,000 of these die-cut vinyl stickers with Fox logo, maybe slightly to be refined for distribution at our events.
I'll second
Let's vote on that. Can you approve this?
Andrew,
Yes.
Liza,
Yes,
Chris,
it. Yep.
Artist,
Yes.
Claire,
Yes.
Sochi.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't need to do that.
Yeah, we can skip video photo pricing for Mural Festival, we did that. Chris,
Yes.
next is the additional,
Yes.
However,
Yeah.
if I can jump in, I did talk, cause the events team is helping to get licensing.
Mhm.
They're having a really hard time, with a real pain, locating licensing. They, Swank, Roco, and Criterion, all three of them don't have it available for licensing.
Swank does.
She checked just recently and they didn't have it. Either way, we can triple check, but it's already been double checked. Like it might show up on their site, but when we actually go to actually purchase licensing, it
Yeah.
wasn't available.
I was corresponding with one of the film's, sort of community organizers, and he referenced Swank.
Okay,
That's why I asked you who you were dealing with there.
yeah,
I can try to get a direct name.
okay, so in light of that, if by chance, that's an August 28th, if for some reason that falls through, that could be an opportunity for this other film,
August?
just throwing it out there.
what is August?
What?
August 28th is the date that was slated for the film A Real Pain,
Oh,
but we're having trouble getting licensing.
oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought you were talking about the AI doc.
no,
Oh,
so A Real Pain, we're having trouble getting licensing for,
okay,
so that could be a date that you could sub the AI movie.
okay. Or have another alternative screening in addition.
And that's what's on the agenda for the group to discuss.
Yeah,
And I have some information, it's the same information I shared with you, Chris, as far as pricing.
Quick background for everybody, this is a discussion about adding a film that Chris thinks is particularly relevant to our existing
to our existence.
film lineup. To our existence.
To our existence.
AI, relevant AI.
It was just released, it's brand new, it's screened in the theaters in March. It premiered at Sundance this year.
So the cost, so I think, obviously figuring out your remaining budget for the rest of the year, for the rest of the films, And if the 390 can fit in there, and then figuring out, which the group does not need to do today, but you know, there's a whole bunch of information that I sent to Chris with regards to available dates at Civic Space. But really what you're looking at is a $390 licensing fee, in addition to the current lineup that, we have. And you can kind of see the range for licensing is usually in the $200 and up to the $400 range for film.
Yeah. So I would also say, you know, we had, Janique come out for the librarians and do a panel discussion. I think that there's a really good opportunity or a decent opportunity to get somebody from the AI doc here too.
So that would have to come out of usually come out of the programming. We pulled out of the CIP for that librarians one. I mean, it's not like it's a hard no, but technically that CIP budget is for art and the programming is for programming, but you all can discuss that.
I don't have a budget yet on an appearance, but that's gonna be, I think that the conversation after that film would be incredible for the audience.
That one would be cool.
I think it would be.
People are very,
Nervous, excited, and scared about AI.
For about AI.
Yeah.
It's a film about AI. and
yeah, not for showing the trailer, but we're about out of time.
Okay.
And so this, Katie, how far are we published with our schedule right now?
I think we do have that August one, a real pain. I think it's only in the rec guide. Hard, probably most common through July. So if we did, yeah, we're okay. I think, yeah,
So if we swapped August, we'd be okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
don't know if we have enough time or information to vote on this now, but can we continue is that okay, Chris? I mean, if we continue to, you get more information on the public.
Oh, what if we just did the screening fee and I could figure out the public appearance thing in a second?
Okay. I guess then the question is it replacing August or is it additional?
That can also be a TBD.
Well,
And let me check on the hello side of it. But
now,
there was no,
we wouldn't have to be approving extra money necessarily if
Could
we
we,
were replacing August, right? Because there's already a budget.
if we replaced it, if we could get the rights for real pain, could we put it in later?
How long do we get rights for in general?
usually it depends on who it's through. Sometimes it's up to a year, but right now we're having trouble finding
Right,
licensing for a real pain.
right,
That
so,
may not change within the next couple months.
so then we could do the AI film, and if we can't get the real pain, we can get the,
Yeah,
But yeah, that's, we're thinking that we could do the AI one on
yeah,
August 28th
yeah,
in substitution instead of doing an extra date and an extra licensing fee.
But I think, but your point, Artis, is if we approve the budget for one more, the worst thing that could happen is basically we're paying for one next year, right? We wouldn't lose it. I mean, it's just
Because of how long the licensing
Right.
lasts.
the very worst thing that can happen is one of those gets bumped to February or something.
I would be happy to swap the films.
yeah.
So you want to go that direction first, potentially?
Yeah, I mean, Real Pain, I think is an interesting film, but it's
Which
just,
one you're more excited about?
this one's way more important.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did the films only go through the summer?
no, they go all the way through.
November.
November.
Oh, so we've already got a lineup that goes through November. Okay, and they kind of take a holiday break, is that what it
Yeah, and then Sundance is January.
is? January, okay.
Okay, so we don't need to do much, I don't think, to just swap on that calendar. So that we will baseline that and then we can, when we have a little more reading room, talk about reintroducing the Real Paints.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I could jump in, as far as the agenda items, I think that could be an email, just suggestion, and then at the next meeting, finalize it.
Okay, Yeah, so the last thing on discussion was, we're gonna have our council meeting, our dinner with the council on July 13th, so we usually brainstorm some topics. I would already thought to suggest the mural festival frequency, Sundance in general, and the cap charter, because we will have some thoughts on that in the next meeting by then, so. But please email maybe me directly your ideas for that. We'll put a list together for next meeting.
Do you wanna send out or?
Yeah, I'll send a thing. And then I will make a motion that we adjourn the next meeting at 7:50, yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Good job, Katie. I was never worried.
Bye, Liza.
Hi, guys. Miss you. I'll be in Vermont the next meeting, so won't be there.
All right, bye, take care.